Okay, welcome to video number 400. We have a special guest today, and that's Sean, my son.
Hello.
And Sean is now 13 years old. He did video number 200. I'd have to look back at the date, but this might be the first, I think it's the first time he's stamped since video 200. So if you think he's a ringer is someone that I plant like in the audience or something that knows what they're doing, Sean, but is pretending that they don't. He is not, and if you think that, you don't know kids and video games and Minecraft and stuff like that. They're not really sitting down and doing a ton of stamping. Although, you know, I think they've had fun at that, but if I gave them a choice, they're not doing that, you know what I mean? They're playing Minecraft and stuff. But anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach, I'm going to have Sean run through a scene. Now, he did this in preschool, okay? We're going to be doing this, and he hadn't done it since, okay? But we're doing it on this thing called Stampbord, and it's basically a hardboard panel, but it has a clay coating on it. It's a soft clay coating that is workable, okay? So meaning it's not like ceramics or something like that, like a tile that's resistant to inks. It's absorbent, it accepts all kinds of different media, and you can find out information on the website on this. But we're going to do, now this is a 2x2 inch one, so obviously it's not going to take a ton of different imagery on here, so we're going to be working it with the Lakeside Cove, the small version, and some reeds here. We might bring in something else into it too, I'm not sure, depending on where we stamp this in relation to the dimensions here. But, okay, let's see. Are you all set, Sean?
Yeah.
We're going to be running it through a range of blue tones here. And what I do on this small piece of paper, not paper, but the stamp board, is we're going to just have them ink this all up. Now this is a great thing to do. I taught this for Sean in his preschool class actually, and the kids did great. And this is one of those things that I used to do in our booth at the different conventions. Okay, we're just going to have them ink up the whole thing like this, okay? So what I just did, instead of taking an applicator like one of the wands, I just inked up the whole thing, just pad straight to board. Go ahead, Sean. It's just faster that way. You know, these are raised pads, so we can just ink that right up here. So we ink up the whole thing. Now this is the way I used to teach it in his class, or I taught it in his class, his preschool class. Okay, that's good. All right, so we've got it all kind of spread around like this. All right. Complete coverage. It's still focusing on my, here we go. All right, so we just have full coverage here. Okay, now, I don't know, not all preschoolers know this, but, well, I think most of them would. What we're going to do is we're going to go to our next version of blue. Now, these are all dye-based inks, so you can use any kind of dye-based inks. Just kind of work it through. We're going to be working through 4 different blues, but you can do it through 2 or, you know, 3 or something like that. The more you work it through, the more kind of depth you can have just in the color itself. So we're going with this. This is called light blue in the Marvy range, but it's really more of a medium blue. Okay, this is what you're going to do, Sean. Imagine that there is a dime right in the middle of your board here. Okay. I see this with adults too, but kids, it's easy for them to kind of relate to, you know, some references like that. And we're just inking up our scene like so. It's not a scene yet, it's just a little board, okay? And keep a little dime-sized area in the middle here, okay? Like about like so. Go ahead and start, Sean.
Is there a certain side?
Nope, either side. Both sides are clean on that stylus tool. We're using stylus tools. You can use sponges. If you're doing this in a class with like a bunch of kids, you know, I don't know if you're going to have a ton of these images, but if you have like a table of like 4 kids or something like that, let's say if you don't have, you know, stylus tools or something like that, you can just take your cosmetic sponges and dab in around like this, okay? And apply that ink that way. So imagine like a little dime there. If it's Canadian dime, whatever, don't matter. but roughly like that. Or, you know, you can say a dime or a penny or something like that. Come in there and apply, leave a little bit of a little area of light like that. So what we're going to do is we're creating our lighting scheme within this little 2 by 2 inch piece right here. So it's very small, but we can still have our lighting, our range of light, as you might say. Now I say a dime, you know, so go in there, you know, pretty good, like that, because we have 2 others to come and we need the space for to apply it in there. Okay, so we got it right there. Moving on. All right, so what size coin would be bigger than a dime?
A nickel.
A nickel, a quarter, okay. I don't know, the difference between a nickel and a dime isn't too extreme, but you can say something like that if you're teaching someone. So this is Caribbean blue here. It's a little bit of a warmer blue, and I didn't used to use this very much, but I'm using it now. Go ahead and use the same side that you just used for that dime-sized hole, Sean. You can just tap it on your paper right here. Yeah, that's it. And think about like a nickel or a quarter or something like that. So imagine you put a nickel on there or a quarter and apply the ink up to that space or whatever, that area. Okay, so we're applying it from the outside edge in, kind of. Now this is one that you can do. We can do streaks on here too, but this is just kind of a good reference point when you talk about coins like that. You know, by the time kids are in school, you know, we're learning about currency and things like that. The Stampbord is one of those really fun surfaces because it is designed to take as many different types of media as possible, because it's an art medium that has been kind of configured to the stamper's size. Okay, now in the art world, this same surface is called clayboard smooth, and they spell &art spells all their board convention spelling conventions with a B-O-R-D, you know, just to be different. But you can get, I think the smallest sizes are 5 by 7. Okay. And they're beautiful to stamp on if you want to stamp something like that. Doesn't have to be scenic stamping either. All right, how's it look? Did you get that nickel quarter in there? What did you go up to, Sean?
Quarter? Hard to tell.
Okay, yeah, it's hard to tell. Our shapes are getting a little amorphic or whatever, but it doesn't matter, doesn't have to be perfect. Let's go to blue. It's more of a navy blue, okay? So think about a quarter to 50-cent piece in the middle here.
All right.
Okay? Same type. Just go on the outside edge. Don't tap it off. Keep all that ink in there.
All right.
So that way, you know, when we can just stay with the same color here, color scheme, we don't have to clean off our sponges. Now see what I do, Sean, is I twirl my thing like this, and I just keep my hand in one spot, and I just twirl the board, as opposed to going like this around here. It's just easier.
Oh.
It's just like scissors when you're cutting something out. You turn the offhand, you know, as you're trimming, and keep the, you know, your cutting hand kind of a little bit more stationary than the offhand. I don't know if this is a 50-cent piece or a silver dollar, who knows. I'm not going to bring in references like Sacagaweas and Susan B. Anthony's and stuff like that. Okay, so anyways, that's what we have. See, it's kind of like a little glow kind of appearing, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so one more color, Sean. I like to go all the way to black. So imagine we put like a silver dollar in here. I don't know how kids do any of us really see silver dollars anymore, but okay, so what I do on this is now I kind of have it at an angle like this. Okay, see this right here? I kind of apply this at an angle so I don't get like this shape too much in here. If we do get it a little bit, it doesn't really matter. So see, as I start doing that,
So you use the side.
yeah, I use the side of it like this. Opposite side. No, tilted out. There you go. Yeah. So I'm never really pushing this side down. It's always like this. See this? Yeah. So far my silver dollar is looking a little bit square, but I can kind of just, I work for the most part the four corners mostly. But this is, see, this is creating our vignette, and this is what we often do on scenes too, like on quarter page scenes or something, paper scenes or whatnot. Okay, that looks good. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at that nice transition right there. See that? And that's because he's kind of hidden at an angle, as opposed to like this, okay, where you're going to get that edge, okay? Just keep doing that. This really frames things off. It says that on this little 2 by 2 inch piece, by kind of framing it off like that, it's saying that it's kind of creating a world unto itself. You know, it's contained. Everything is complete within this little space. It's like one of those little like Easter egg things when you look through that little opening and, you know, that little hole. Those types of, I don't know what they call it, those little picture eggs or whatever. And you look through that and there's like this little world on the inside. It's kind of cool like that. Looks good, looks good. Now this kaolin clay, now see, this to the touch, it's dry to the touch, okay? It's because this clay is an absorbent material. It hasn't been sealed off or anything like that, so it's accepting of our media. The types of material that don't work particularly that great on this type of surface are those types of media that require a lot of tooth to your surface, like chalks, pastels, colored pencils, although you can probably get some marks on there, but they have other types of surfaces specifically for that. They call them pastel board, or I know there's some other type of textured one. Okay, so we have our Lakeside Cove here. Now, sometimes when the surface is smaller than the stamp itself, I like to go surface to stamp. Now, you can't do that with a piece of paper as easily, so you're going to have to do stamped paper. But this one right here, it's hard and rigid. So what we're going to do, Sean, is we're going to ink up right here. Now, we do have some choices. If I want a little bit more sky, then I stamp this lower. If I want more water, then I stamp it higher. I'm going to go more for the middle area, so I'm just going to take this. I'll go right here. Once you lay it down, don't kind of move it, you know, around. Once you kind of set it, because it's going to make a print, okay? Makes sense?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to put it down there, and I'm going to hold this down. We have a lot of ink on our surfaces right now, so I'm going to allow that ink to transfer. You don't have to press too hard, but press it nice and evenly. And we have that right there. Okay?
Do I need to re-ink?
You definitely need a re-ink. Okay. Now this is one that would be beautiful with the VersaFine black, because it's really, really black. But that VersaFine is just going to take too long to dry, so we don't want to wait on this one. This video 400, I can't believe. I've done more videos than 400, but they're things like show and tells and things like that. So anyways, thanks to everyone for watching these videos, you know, be it your first one right here, or if you're a repeated watcher of the my videos to fall asleep by, in other words. Sean makes videos too, Minecraft videos, under the name Melon, if you want to check those out, because of course, all stampers are video game players too, right? The profile. I'm just joking. Okay, so who wants you showed up to the camera here, Sean? Got it? All right. All right, so we have that. Now we have this other stamp here, these reeds, and I thought what we would do is we'll add a little bit of foreground in here using the reeds. So with these reed stamps, I have a special video on that one too, but we don't want to press real high up there and smash that down like that. So nice, light, even pressure, okay? And we'll put some reeds down here right in our foreground, okay? I'm going 2 impressions probably, and I'll change the angle with the second impression like that. And I like to leave a little bit of hole, an opening like that for the viewer's eye to kind of go into the scene from. Okay, go ahead, Sean. See how that adds that nice dimension there? Okay. Re-ink, yeah. Re-ink in between impression. Okay. All right, so what we have here, 2 pieces right here. They look pretty identical to me. He used a little bit more Caribbean blue, so I can tell his piece here is a little bit of a warmer blue than mine, which is cool. Okay, now on Stampbord, one of the things when I talked about being a soft, workable clay is that we can go in to these boards here, and because it has that soft clay surface, is that we can do subtractive marks, okay, meaning we can take away some ink that we've applied. These are 2 tools that are both called scratch knives. You can see one is like kind of more of the spoon-like surface right here, and we use it on its side in a scraping motion like this, okay? This one right here is more of like a spear tip, and that gives us a very thin, very consistent line quality, okay? All right, so let me zoom into mine very quickly here, all right? Now, one of the things that kids really like doing on these scenes is if I go vertical with this, the spoon-shaped one, okay? And if I go like this, and if I do a little twirl, like that, it creates these little stars, okay? That I can put into my sky. And I'm not trying to drill all the way down to the board, so you just kind of put a little touch in there. And I'm going to put some of these stars as reflections in my surface right here. And you get these little stars like that. And that's what kids really enjoy doing. Adults, too. People at the demo table really enjoy doing that. And you can make as many as you want. You can put constellations up there or something like that. Orion, Cassiopeia, whatever you want. If you know your birth sign, you can put that up there if you want. All right, Sean, why don't you show your piece? There we go. Isn't that fun? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Sean. Just go with your scoopy tool like this one right here, or you can use the sharper one. But this is what I'm going to do. Do you see on the scene right here, on the tops of those rocks, how there's lighter areas, okay? Mm-hmm. On the light top surfaces of those rocks, okay? Now what I'm going to do is with the scoopy end kind of facing towards me, okay? I'm going to be like pulling back a little bit, and what I'll do is what I do is I turn my tile, and on the top sides of some of these rocks, I just put a little bit of scrape. You don't need to scrape all the way to white, but you can scrape just a little bit off, and it makes there look like there's a highlight on the top side of those rocks, okay? I have my reeds going into some of those rocks, so I don't want to scrape away my reed. But on some of these rocks, don't do the whole rock, maybe just do the very tops of them. And some of them you can just scrape away a little bit to reveal like a lighter blue. Yeah, like that. Okay? So see right here, I've made, now notice normally what I'd be doing with like a white gel pen, you know, putting little highlights on top of these things, you can scrape it away with the use of your tool like that, okay? Yeah, looks good. Some of them, now see in the shaded areas, what I do is I remove less. So I reveal blue, and then where it's lighter in here, sorry about the focus folks, where it's lighter in here I kind of reveal white. And then you can switch off too. You can go to your pointed one if you want a much more detailed removal of a little bit of ink right off the very top of some of these to give it an even stronger little just top edge highlighting. So see, we have something like that right there. See, don't those rocks look a little bit more dimensional now? They're catching kind of that lighting from the things. Sean, why don't you show your board? Let's see. See that? See that's highlights right over here? Don't those rocks look a lot more dimensional? Now let me show you something here too. See on these trees right in here, where's the light coming from in relation to that tree? The light is
coming from the left.
Coming from the left side. Yeah, exactly. So the trees to the right of that lighting, what I'll do is on the left side, I'll put these little nick cuts with a sharp tool like this. I'll do this little nick like that. I'm kind of pushing in and doing a little nick like that. And so that creates this, kind of pull it back this way, Amy, like that. Yeah, there you go. And then when you do this, angle your piece this way and just do a little nick cut back. Yeah, there you go. So what we're doing right here is we have center lighting right here, okay? So that tree right there, can you see those little highlights on the side of that tree facing the light? It's a real subtle. And then, Sean, on the opposite side, do those little nick cuts on the opposite side of the tree. So you'll have the right side of the trees on the left of the light with the highlights. It's just these little nick cuts right there. It makes things, I don't know, it puts little highlights on them, maybe, who knows. If you put more, if you reveal more white, it can look kind of like snow or something like that, like on the tops of the rocks. Let's see if we can focus in here. See this? See, it kind of brings those trees out from the background too, a little bit. Sean, let's see your board. Great. All right. So one of the things I have fun doing too, you can do everything that's kind of in reverse does not have to be a subtractive process right here. It could be an additive one. So you can apply all kinds of different media. Glitter or things like that would be really cool in there. Wink of Stella pen or something like that. But here's a silver pen. So I like to add, why don't we add a few little embellishments in here with silver. Silver goes really great with blue. And I'll put a few down here in my water as well. Okay, you want to use some of that? So here we have this. Silver is a little bit more subtle because it's almost the same value as blue. But then that silver, see that? How it catches that light like that. All right, and let's see. We have a, let's see, Sean's right here. I can see that silver kind of glistening. See that right there? These would make really fantastic ornaments if you have your, I forget that thing that punches through everything. You can punch a hole in here and create an ornament out of it. You can do this too on the diagonal and do an ornament like that. Spray the spiel them, and it would make great Christmas ornaments. Kids, we used these, I think, one time to make ornaments so that the kids can give to their parents for a Christmas gift. Okay, this is the Wink of Stella pen right here. And this is a glitter pen, Sean. It's kind of like a paint pen, but it's clear glitter. I do have this in silver as well, but this one right here will be very subtle, I think. I don't really know until we use it. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it over some of my stars in here. I'll put it over the ones that I cut out, the white ones, I think, for the most part. I think you could put it over your silver a little bit as well. Like that. Okay. You can't really see it, Sean, until you kind of hold it up. Let's see if we can see it at all on camera. And again, now a little bit. You can see mostly the silver, but I can see some kind of illumination. It's subtle even where no, I can see it much more. It almost looks like a silver here, like these two little marks right there. Those ones, see that how it really stands out? Those are white, not silver, but it's through that wink of stella. So see, I like those things that are subtle. And then when it catches the light, it really reflects. How'd that wink of stella go? Yeah, kind of angle it then. Yeah, we can see it kind of coming alive like that. It's kind of out of focus right here, right? Okay, now do it. Yeah, see that? He has a lot of wink of stella around some of that.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually put in a little bit of a line like this into my water, okay? So it's like those little ripples on the water's surface, so let's do that. Sean gave me that idea. See that? Can you see that, Sean?
Yeah.
Where it's catching that light. See that
Yeah.
right there? But it's kind of fun, though. If it catches the light, it kind of does that reflective quality like that. Okay, so we have that going. Now I don't have a silver pigment ink pad. I wish I did. But one of the things about these boards they're kind of boring on the side. It looks like masonite or something like that. And what you can do is I have this robin's egg blue. Let's see if this even shows up here. The silver and metallic ones really show up nicely. But let's see if we can get a little bit of this on there. It's kind of fun to finish off the edges. And like I said, the silver and gold metallic pads work perfect for the sides of your tiles. They're really fun to add. And sometimes if you squeeze it in here a little bit more, it kind of goes over the front of that a little bit. And like I said, it doesn't show up so much with this just colored pigment ink, but the metallics really show up a lot better. So it kind of frames things off, see, because I kind of put it in there, but now you have this colored side, kind of. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead and really dab that in there. And what Sean and I will do is we'll go outside and we'll spray these, and we'll show you what these look like. Now, you can spray them with a traditional spray sealant, workable fixative or whatnot, but if you spray them with like polyurethane spray, the types that are more for like furniture or something like that, it really builds up on there and gives it a thick coating. You take a little bit of time to dry, but it's kind of worth it because it almost looks like, and it feels like a glazed fired tile if you build it up. Now, like I said, I don't have that, so I'll just be spraying this with the Krylon spray. All right, Sean, looks good. Let's see, let's get here, I'll just take this piece of paper out there. Why don't we put that on here? And let's go out and spray and come back here. All right. So this is pre-spraying, okay? And we'll show you post-spray and see if the saturation. Okay, we're outside, and Sean's going to spray these. He's experienced with spraying, doing things in the Cub Scouts and whatnot, but go ahead, Sean. Give it a pretty thick coating, yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, look at that. Beautiful saturation right there. Alright, it's really windy out here. It's not the ideal time to spray, but that's what we have to work with. Okay, we'll take this back in and take a look at them. Okay, we're back. Sean sprayed these pieces right here. Let's zoom in. And we're inhaling Krylon fumes right now, but we would normally kind of let these sit outside to kind of dry off a little bit more, and but we won't do that right now. Sean, what do you think? Do you like your piece?
Yeah, I'm satisfied with it. It's pretty good.
All right, so this is like my, I don't know, 10,000th scene or something like that. Sean, I don't know how many scenes Sean stamped before. What would you estimate in your life?
This is probably like my, I don't know, like 7th?
Maybe 7th or something like that. We did this like in preschool, kindergarten. He did the 200th episode or something like that. I don't know. Hey, he's doing something here or there, I'm sure. I was going to say 5, but maybe it's 7 or something like that. And it's probably not one for like a couple years. But anyways, that's not too bad right there. I think that, you know, I don't know if one would be very discernible in terms of, oh, okay, that one's definitely, you know, a ton of experience. And this was like, you know, someone's 7th, you know, in their life, in their 13 years, you know. But anyways, this is really fun to do. Now these tiles, one of the things that these are really great for is that they're great for embellishments. You can glue them on top of other types of artwork. Sean, do you remember what we've done with your other pieces in the past? What we've made these into?
I think one of them was like a magnet for on the fridge, right?
Yeah, magnets on the fridge. So I've done these with some kids, and they say, yeah, I still have that, you know, from preschool. You know, these boards, you put that, you know, that gluable magnetic strip in here and just glue it down like that. Or you can mat these first and then put that strip on there. And then we've also done those little things where you have those pins that have that little adhesive stripping on the back, and you can stick it to the back of this and it makes for a nice pin. But I think the magnets are a really great option for these pieces right here. They do tend to fade out because they're done in dye-based inks and whatnot over time, but maybe if that's the case, like we just sprayed them with the Krylon UV, which might help them over time or something like that. But it's kind of fun to have artwork up on the fridge, you know, done by the kids and whatnot. And like I said, these aren't just for kids. I mean, these tile embellishments are really fun to use. Here you see, you know, what size these are in relation to, you know, right here. But anyways, Stampbord and Stamping with Sean. Sean, thanks so much for being a guest on video number 400.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just drop me a note. This video has been done in the past, I think, or at least in terms of a lesson plan, but I wanted to do one so you can kind of, you know, teach someone how to teach someone, you know, the same type of scene, you know. And it's kind of, with this, something like this, it's easy to work them through those kind of size conventions as far as like coin relationships if you're dealing with kind of your younger stampers and whatnot, you know, getting together, you know, with the kids or the grandkids or something like that, and if we want to do these things. So you can do these small little pieces too. You can just cut them out of pieces of paper as well and just do that. You just wouldn't have the scraping aspect, but you can do the additive process of adding, you know, things like highlights in with the metallic and gel pens and whatnot. That's really fun to do. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning into the channel. And thanks for, yeah, video number 400, Sean. High five.